Welcome to Mosaic Arts Online. I'm Rachel Sager, and this is Printlandia, how to turn a printer into a mosaic. For this workshop, we will be breaking down, demolishing, and reimagining the raw material that is this printer into something entirely different. It will not be a printer covered in pieces of things. It will be art built from the pieces we cut, using a classical language that will help all of these strange pieces talk to each other. So moving forward through this class, I want you to open your mind to not just seeing the printer. I want you to see every material. If you can cut it, you have power over it. As I move through this hour, keep reminding yourself that this could be any other piece of technology or mundane object. Now, you may be wondering, why the heck would I want to do this? Well, I have 5 very good reasons. Number 1, catharsis. Taking control over something that has been controlling you. As a piece of technology, we are going to use this printer as an example of many techie things in this world that control us every day. The word catharsis comes from the Greek meaning cleansing. It's an emotional act through which one can achieve a state of moral or spiritual renewal, or achieve a state of liberation from anxiety or stress. And who doesn't need that right now? Number 2, it's green. Save the planet. Make sustainable art. Upcycle. Number 3, economic freedom. Freedom from the marketers. Use this as an exercise in realizing that you don't really need to purchase anything to make a mosaic. Number 4, power over material. If you take yourself through this exercise, you will have learned a great lesson about your own ability to tackle any strange material out there. As mosaicists, it's a big part of our job to be good, if not great, at breaking down material. Usually our material is glass or stone or ceramic, but I believe in pushing the boundaries of what is possible in this medium. Number 5, it's a little bit different than the first 4, adding an overlooked tool to your mosaic toolbox, the tin snips. One of the exciting parts of this workshop is how I will teach you to turn this into the beautiful language of andamento, which is the classical language of mosaic. In the next section is a short PDF of the tools, materials, and resources to create this project.
Rachel, thank you so much for coming back to Mosaic Arts Online. I am so excited about this project. This is as unique as it gets. It's going to be incredible.
Thank you. I'm glad you were open to it.
Oh my God, anything to expand our mosaic horizons. But first, give me the quick version of how you got started in mosaics and where you've gotten to get to this place.
Well, I was introduced to the broken plate 20 plus years ago, Picassiette. I started making craft-like mirrors on my own, completely self-taught, and with every year that went on, I added a little bit more to my knowledge. Luckily, we have amazing teachers in this medium, and I have taken advantage of that and learned as much as I have been able to.
That's great. So, that's awesome.
It's been a wonderful adventure.
Yes, I was in the broken plate world in the beginning as well, so I completely understand. Mm-hmm. So I think this is one of the most unique approaches to creating a mosaic, and this is just one picture of it. You also see it in the front page of this course, but the philosophy behind it. But what made you go down this road?
It's a great story.
I can't
It really is. Yeah. I was applying to an art show that was in Italy. This was 2012 possibly, and I actually needed physical photographs, like from a printer, to send overseas to apply to this art show instead of just online like everybody does now. And my printer broke in the middle of this very important, because I wait until the last minute to do everything, and it broke on me, and I needed it to work so badly. that I experienced, and I think a lot of us have had this similar absolute rage at technology.
Experience rage.
Rage. And I remember plopping down on the couch and saying to myself, I am going to turn that thing into a mosaic. And at that time, it was a very, very fertile time in my mosaic learning. I was realizing that all these things I was looking at around me, oh my gosh, I could turn that into a mosaic. I could cut that up. And the poor printer just happened to be there. And so it took it down to the studio, and I took a regular hammer to it, and it was very violent in the beginning. But what I found, because it was this wonderful evolution, that I found that it wasn't really about the destruction; it was about the rebuilding. That was the important part of this this workshop that I'm so excited about, introducing language, the classical language of mosaic, into a very strange foreign material. So there isn't, I don't know, I'm getting off tech. Anyway, what happened was it turned into a beautiful map of an ancient explorer type of time period. And I had seen, I do a lot of map research, and I had seen this place called Islandia. And I don't know if it was Iceland back in the day, a long time ago or something, but I was just thinking, I had the word Islandia in my head, and Printlandia just, it was a light bulb in my, on the top of my head, and there it was named. So Printlandia.
It's a great story.
It's a land unto itself.
It just shows you what you can do with any kind of old technology, whether it is a printer that you are about to throw out because it's just ruined your day, or if you find one at a thrift shop, a garage sale, whatever. It's about the experience, about taking something and making something else out of it that is gorgeous and amazing, and learning from Rachel that process is pretty incredible. So explain to the students that if they had an old printer or piece of technology, how can they easily approach the subject and this project? How do you liberate this printer, and give them just like the quick version of how that works?
In some ways, it's really simple, because I've already introduced the tin snips as the main tool. This is what I found, because working with plastic, I would never have thought, but when I started working on my printer, I realized that tin snips were actually kind of fun to work with. They really are. And plastic is a very cuttable material. And there's some glass in there, there's some metal. None of it is really dangerous. It's not scary. It's a very approachable piece of machinery, as opposed to other ones that might be a little bit more challenging. But bringing language into it is, again, going to help you overcome the fear, I think. I think the language itself will help you funnel the whole thing into making sense for you.
Well, and I think it goes back to your approach of having inventory of the materials. So the more that's cut of whatever part of this is together, then that language can start to express itself.
And one thing I want to say is that this piece, which I think you can see a better photograph of it later, the Printlandia, there is nothing in this printer that is not in this mosaic that is not the printer. It's 100% plastic, metal, and glass. And we're going to do the same thing with this. We're not going to be adding any other bling. We're going to be using what we have. So that's the challenge.
This is it. These are all the tools and materials that you need
to
create
simple.
This project. So thank you so much for doing this. I am so excited, and I think it's going to be a super fun, very achievable project. And thanks for coming back to Mosaic Arts Online.
Thank you for having me. I love coming back.